So what does it take to be, the best or the perfect esports athlete? You have to be self-critical, self-motivated, and just have this all-around competitive mindset where it doesn't matter what you're doing in life, you're going to be competing with somebody, which is healthy and unhealthy in the same ways, but it keeps you motivated and it keeps you self-critical, as well as it keeps you open to constructive criticism from others like myself towards the players.
Well, he has to have good teamwork. I think he needs to be really good for the team environment. He shouldn't be too stressed out, too picky, too angry towards others when they make misplays as well. He needs to be reasonable. He needs to understand that not everyone can have it their own way.
It's the guy that knows how to balance the whole business part of esports, because you actually gotta make the money, with sponsors and all that, and just playing the game and not burning out. So I think, to me, just the perfect esports athlete is hardworking, nice, and a perfect teammate in the sense that he's just always there, and always leading by example and saying nice stuff and always working hard and always just trying to show his team how it's done,
Well, after the rival loss, I feel like we learned quite a bit what we did wrong. We were also still trying out the swapped roles with Vote and Zeros. So, that's 2 weeks that we're trying that out. It was going better as well. Our objective game was going better. So we all felt really good going into the SK games. And honestly, even though we lost one game, I think that game was super clean as far as objective play goes and how we siege and all that. All the team fights were super clean as well, except for at the very end where me and Kenneth kind of messed up and just went too early, I think. So then we died and then we literally just lost off that.
I'm in between.
I should be fine.
Oh yeah, we can just siege now.
Yeah, just siege. I did 250 and all to think the...
Yes, be careful for Cabra.
I'm
getting
mid tower,
just let me get mid tower first. They might just cap or blink me, by the way. Be ready. I do a lot of damage.
Kill the walls if he blinks.
If they ever cap or blink me, just kill the walls. And vote. You need to long range on their carries, okay?
I'm gonna count. I'm trying to count walls first, I think.
Just
I think
we win every 2v2 here, I think. Okay. I got these stuff.
I can just blow up the...
We have a Phoenix here, I think.
Okay.
We had a lot of Come 3 man mid.
We should push in on left.
Yeah. Cabby has no beats.
Every time we play up like that in mid, you guys should push up in left.
Back looking for blink out there. I'm fine. Okay, nice. Okay, clear this.
You and me push mid together.
Yep. I have shell in 4 seconds, boys.
I'm gonna 2 over the wall.
I'm gonna try and Cab is in between, Cab is in mid. Tank it a little bit, I wanna pop. We win this 2v2 so
yeah, we do.
Missing MT.
Missed this too.
Nice. Cab is going in a bit. Yo, we should be able to get the Phoenix here, I think. Got another E-staff.
If Cab is in combat, I guess blink on the Phoenix.
He's not in combat. Can you attack it? Do some damage on the top. Go. Walk in. I'm gonna ult here. I'm backing up a bit.
I'm gonna back Cab.
Left.
I'm on Phoenix.
Go Phoenix. Go in on Capri. He's no beast, Capri.
I'm dead.
Capri. We need to get out.
Full disengage, guys, full disengage.
We're gonna chase. They're chasing this. Do the AMC.
Full run. You're out if you straight run.
I don't think I am. He's not. I'm definitely dead. Just stall. You shouldn't have overcommit. I didn't see the AMC that coming over, dude.
You bought so much time for us.
They can't do fire. They can get only way.
They have to get towers.
Watch out for end here, maybe. This is why Magi's would have been so OP for me. Just don't die.
Yeah, I should go Magi.
Can I get this? Maybe.
Maybe Spirit Robe. Actually, Spirit Robe is.
They might try and end it. They might try and end.
No, I don't think so.
There's no way they get Phoenix, maybe.
They have so much damage. You need to backstage. They're gonna look for it. They're gonna go end. They're gonna go end. If you can get the like ult poke on MC and Kronos, yeah, they're gonna look for it. 30?
They're going for it.
They're looking for it. Look for MC here. Look for MC here.
I don't have ult for this. It's over.
MC's poked.
I spawn in 2 seconds.
We're spawning now. We're spawning now.
It's over.
That's game. Yep.
Bullshit 100.
Yeah, I mean, when you're late game and you make that mistake, and SK is still a really good team, you just get punished for it. But I think we cleaned up our game, and in game 2, 3, and 4, we didn't make any crucial mistakes when we were pushing or something, and we did really well capitalizing of their mistakes. So I'm pretty proud of how we played as a team against SK. I think that was way better than we did against Rival, and also just like less individual mistakes, and I think way more of us had like good games, and we played really well together as a team as well. Had some really good objective calling around the objectives. We played really well. So yeah, SK was it was kind of the opposite of Rival. It was like way cleaner, and it's weird because we still lost game to them, but that game shouldn't have been lost.
So clearly the start of our phase was determined a lot by shot calling. Game 4 of Rival could have gone either way, and it went in their favor because of our shot calling. Game 1 of SK went in their way, so we ended up in a 3-1 set because of shot calling. It's a difficult task to really tackle shot calling in a team. We kind of just went with what fit in the start of the year. We tried to readjust after MSI with our jungler Kenneth being the shot caller, the main shot caller. Where previously it was a Millsy. So we're experimenting with different roles outside of their main SMITE roles and communication roles and things like that. And some of them will work, some of them won't, but now's the time, or at least the last chance to really experiment before we start the pre-Worlds crunch time. So we're getting that experimentation in, as well as zeros in the long range. The one last thing I wanted to talk about was how we're going to handle shot calling, because I felt in the Rival set and in Scrim we had you shot calling a lot more, and then in the SK set we had nil shot calling a lot more, and I felt like we were way more comfortable with nil shot calling the majority of late game, and then you and zeros being like
we're like saying yes
like
or no.
Second, yeah, like the second voice kind of thing,
I mean, we call stuff too, but I don't think you need one guy that like, oh, this guy made this call, everyone has to listen. I don't think that should be the way.
But I think Nils, maybe you can tell me I'm wrong, Nils, but I think you've been more quiet on purpose in late game calls to let Kenny call.
Yeah. No, in scrims, like I have not talked a lot. I've just been giving information, but I haven't like tried to set shit up and stuff.
Yeah.
So I just want to like give you space to do your thing, to just learn and get better. But then like we had that really bad scrim session, and alright, hell man, like I'm gonna have to take some responsibility tomorrow. And then I think I did that, like in this case, I just tried my best to like just give calls. If you didn't make a call, I just call.
Yeah.
And also around objectives and stuff, I'll just do my best to call.
I mean, on SK, like the way I've added this is in scrims. I tried to make a lot of calls, just to try and kind of gauge what's possible or not.
Test the limits and things.
I try to get back into it because I've not been shot calling like as intensely. Like I want to keep on going and I want to shot call a lot more, but I still need practice on it.
I just think
it's
really ugly.
No, I don't think you need to force things.
Well, that's what we have been doing, is what I'm saying. Like
it screams, but like I've been. The way I've been looking at it is I've been trying to look at like what other teams do and like how they force objectives sometimes, but then sometimes I'll look for like doing an objective in scrims and we don't have comps that are well enough to play around the way I've called them. Or I make risky calls that...
It's not like you can't make those calls anymore though as well.
You can still make the call, but it's just like, it doesn't have to be only you. Like maybe sometimes I want to make a call.
I don't think so either. I think everyone should call, right?
The only time that becomes a problem is like when everyone, like when there's two people that want to call something different and then you guys start disagreeing and then it's just messy. I think it also comes down to the role as well. Like early and mid is like jungler ganking a lot, so you can make those calls easier. But late game, it's like Nils is the one running ahead of the pack because he's in the initiator and like he's gonna get a pull on somebody and things like that, or like Fafnir Hammer. So he's always the one like calling where to go because he's running in the front.
Yeah, but in general, I think both of us should just call together, right? In general.
Yeah,
but
yeah, sure. But I'm just saying the way it's been happening in scrims is, I think, just the wrong way to go about it. With just Nils like purposely not talking.
No, I mean, of course, he should like be allowed to talk as well, right? And he should have a voice too.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's just what I'm saying.
It's just like, it's annoying for me. Just like, I feel like in scrims, whenever it's a lot easier to call from ahead than it is to call from behind.
Yeah.
And I will be making the calls from behind or even. And then you'll be making the call from ahead. And if we both make at like 2 different calls from ahead, it's like we're listening to you, even though like obviously you feel like your call is better, I feel like my call is better. And I just feel like, well, I've been calling us to get to this point, and now you just kind of autopilot and take over, which was like, it's kind of what happened in game 2 against SK, when like Benko was getting fucked and Zeros was getting fucked. I just completely took over that game, and I just called us back into it and like tried to completely set up things. And then when we got into later stages, like you tried to take over a bit, and I think that's fine. But I also think at that point I have so much momentum in the calling, and if you've had a lot of things go right for you with your calls, I also think it's more reasonable that you're gonna make another good call, if that makes sense, rather than you just come in fresh. Like I think we need to also be open to the person that is running the game is also the person that should do a lot of the shot calling in general, regardless if that's me, if that's you, if we have a monster Benko, if Zeros is playing top and he's really far ahead. I think we just need to be
swing. Just leave me out.
But you always know it's gold, so.
No, I mean I agree. I think I need
That's
to.
how
But
I felt.
I feel like I need to. That's what I need to do in rank though. Just when I'm trying to play my rank games now, I want to try and call more in them as well, and actually. Because I practice my calling in rank games, and if people don't listen, they don't listen, right? But that also helps me with the base.
I mean, it can be the same as scrims sometimes, where people don't want to do what you want to do.
Sure, that's fine. People don't always need to, but they should also be open to doing it. Like, it's better, like, I'm very good at learning from mistakes.
Yeah.
Like, most people, I reflect upon mistakes a long time when I make them. And that's usually what I base my like when I go for aggressive plays or whatever, I'll base them on if I've made a mistake in the past, what's caused it, you know.
Yeah.
And like, if I think it should be it should be favorable, then obviously I'll go for it. But obviously you can't always be right.
Yeah.
But like that's and I know in like scrims I've been calling super aggressive, but that's also been to try and kind of understand how to play the map as fast as possible, because I want us to learn to play the map faster than we are sometimes.
Yeah.
I think the way we played in SPL was good because we played back even when
we played according to our comps as well.
Yeah, we played according to our comps, and like that's the thing. For SPL you don't need to be super angry. You just need to be calculated about everything. And
I watched it back though, like honestly, if you know how to play around objectives, you hardly even need to call it. Like you get lane priority in, if you say you're around goal fury, if you get lane priority in duo and mid at the same time, then walk into goal. That's always when you find a pick on the support or coach the support.
That's what you do though. You call your lanes to push up, but you call to go.
Yeah, but like you don't have to tell me that, because I will say I'm gonna go push this wave, and then like obviously both.
No, but usually you ask, you want us to push up the wave or whatever, right? And that's when.
Yeah, sure. But that should just be always pretty much.
80% of the work in securing an objective is done like before you even pull the objective. It's the setup that we should be doing in like the 30 seconds to a minute beforehand to actually like get us in a position where we can pull the objective and easily secure it.
And then there's a few times where you're opportunistic. 2 people on the back, you just pull it and they can't walk in.
Yeah.
Okay. And you just have to tell which people to play up and so on, right?
Yeah. Usually those go pretty like. We're getting better at that.
I also just think in general, like say we have like we lose a few games to really aggressive calls or something, I don't think we should keep on doing it. I think we should just, because that's how this team is, like it's very emotional if we lose scrims, and I don't think we're ever going to be able to change that. No. So then I think you just need to be able to, for the good of all of us, just go back, play like fucking Texas Melt or something, play it safe, just win a scrim and then move on, and then you can like try and do it again. Because I think there's been a lot of almost like mistrust sometimes in the calls. I remember there was one of the scrims we played, you like made a call for pyro or something, and literally all of us, we just ignored you because we're like, this is fucking bad. And like no one even said anything because we'd been losing a few scrims. I can't remember what set it was, and you called like a pyro or something, and there was no one said anything, and we just all like didn't listen at all. if that makes sense. Like there needs to be a good balance, and yeah, just to bring it back to my other point a bit as well. Like all shot calling in phase 1 loses a lot of games, and I think that's mainly also on me. But then like, that also just comes back to like I did not play the amount of SMITE that I needed to in phase 1 compared to where I feel like I am now.
The thing is that the longer I shot call, the more usually like the way I always use the shot call is super safe, right?
Yeah.
But in scrims now it's been a bit of an exception because I've just wanted us to play the map as fast as possible, and I've also tried to be as opportunistic as possible.
Yeah.
For say like when people dive a lane, I'm never just gonna be like, okay, we're gonna go hold that lane. I'm telling us we dive on this side of the map then. There's 3 people in left and we're 3 in mid. Yeah. We should try and dive the mid laner. Yeah. If we get that kill, we make a trade. Yeah. I'm always trying to get us to make trades if they're possible.
No, I think that style of play is like the best style of play you can play, but it's also the hardest.
Yeah.
And I think we all just need to literally, we all just need to play more. Because zeros get fucking frustrated if we're not playing enough SMITE.
Yes,
which is like reasonable as well, right? And I'm not just talking about you, I'm talking about if we want to make really fast plays and you're making good calls, we might not just like have the experience in playing as fast. Where I think like that's one thing you can learn from ranked games. It's like these playing the game super fast. Whereas something like playing more back and playing more neutral like we do in SPL, it's easier to do than it is to play fast. And I just think as soon as like we all start playing more, it's going to be less complaining. We can play the game faster. You can shot call more, because I do agree, Kenneth. I do think like I definitely need help with the shot calling, and you should also take a lot of it over when it comes to like the fast pace, and when it comes to like setting up the fucking red buff invade, setting up like the mid game invade. Yeah. You fucking run the map, because that's what I've always been impressed about you. It's like when I look back to the early games in Region with comms, you would always like even in rank, you'd say like I'm gonna fucking gank mid at this time. And be ready, and you do that, and you do that, and you do that, and then you do it, and you execute it, and you just win the game off that. Like, keep doing that, Yeah. But we all just need to play more fucking SMITE, so we can actually play at that level.
Like the biggest things that are going to help us improve like over these next couple of weeks is 1, the drafting improvements, and 2, just playing more SMITE. I think that'll be like by far what gets us.
Yeah, I think everything is gonna like trickle down and make it a lot easier. But I also think it's like important that we addressed it.
Yeah.
Like everything we've talked about today. I think it's really nice. Is there anything else?
That was all the main points. It's just drafting, playing more, and then shot calling is what I wanted to talk about.
Alright. We don't know.
Of the SK win, we have 2.5, almost 3 weeks before we go up against Dignitas on the Thursday. And again, we're focused on ourselves, this time in a little bit more of a maintenance direction, whereas before we were like full in experimental mode. We've got a decent amount of things that we need to experiment for, but nothing that it was as big as before setting up for the Rival and SK and Phase 2 in general sets. So now we can take a step back and really work on polish, because like you've seen with the shot calling, it's really messy. A lot of our plays are really messy as well. So finally we have some time to just relax. We don't watch Dignitas play either, because they're not playing in the SPL until we do, until our game actually. We're just going back and polishing what we've got.
The biggest thing for me honestly is just that like everyone just has to step it up a notch. Like everyone has to take it to that like next level, like grind a bit more, like we're making mechanical errors and we're making calling errors. Like we were playing bad individually, not as a team in particular, but like individually we made too many mistakes. So I think the biggest takeaway is just like we just need to get better individually before we can improve as a team, if that makes sense. Because I mean, everyone is really good individually. I don't think it matters if you haven't played SMITE for 2 weeks. We're still going to be some of the strongest players out there, but you're also much more liable to making mistakes and making misplacing. When you play against such a good team, you're just going to get punished for it. So yeah, that's like the main thing for me in general, was like, you know what, I don't really care. Actually, I don't know. That's not true. I was pretty pissed about us losing that game, especially because it was like mainly of some like individual mistakes and some shot calling that like went wrong, where I felt like this could have been prevented in a sense, if that makes sense. Just if everyone put in a bit more effort.
So, I mean, at the start of this year, we had very high expectations of ourselves. The community had high expectations of us being that super team and blah, blah, blah. we didn't perform as well as phase 1 as we wanted, getting 3rd, and then performed even worse at MSI. Granted, more credit goes to Renegades for that. So there was a lot of pressure and a lot of stress on the players before their break. Coming back, they were feeling a lot more refreshed, but still there's a lot of tension because we have high expectations of ourselves. We all want to win Worlds, and clearly we're not at the point where we feel like we can do that yet. I mean, we can do it, but we all feel like we can do it, but we haven't proven ourselves yet, and that bothers a lot of people because they have that competitive spirit. So there's a lot of tension in the air, but at the same time, everyone's motivated in the same direction. So everyone's still working together and working on the same common goal. So in that regard, it's fantastic, and I think in the end, once we do hopefully win, all of this stress will be worth it, and it'll be a massive learning experience for everybody involved.